All right, everyone's seated. Can you hear me up the back? Ruben, good? Excellent. All right, well, let's get into it, shall we? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first part of our 4-part free RMIT seminar series, Evolve, Growing Your Career in the Music Industry. This will be our group's presentation focused around tagline From Tadpoles to Bankrolls, and that's going to be facilitating growth in the music industry. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our esteemed panel of guests for us today. We have none other than Sonia Miles-Khan. Now, Sonia is a communications and strategy enthusiast, currently at the helm of CDR, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. That's Create, Define, Release, and is also working for Strawberry Fields and global consultancy EY. So, and moving on, we have Kirsty Rivers. Thank you very much for being here. Kirsty's spent over 25 years in the music industry, from everything to retail to management in record companies, and is now the national manager, I repeat, national manager of the writer services at the Australasian Performing Rights Association, which we all know better known as APRA. And last but not least, we have Shane Wickens, ladies and gentlemen, Artistic Director from The Push, with us today, and Freezer Support Services. These are both innovative youth development programs providing young people with the opportunity to attend affordable and accessible music and cultural events, which I'm sure we were all grateful for. So let's get a quick hand of applause for our guests. Thank you very much. All right, they have graciously what skills are needed for your specific jobs in your industries, and are these skills that you had already or that you developed on the job or sort of picked up as you went along? Feel free to...
Organisation, and we have to communicate globally on a regular basis because we want things to be consistent and we want to leverage knowledge. But at the same time, we don't necessarily have the funds, and as you said, it might rely on grants or it might rely on us getting ourselves there. But we actually operate our organisation through Google as like a Google for Enterprise organisation. And so that's given us...
With our organisation, it's largely volunteer-based, so as Kirsty just mentioned, we've got around a pool of 120 volunteers, and so I think what draws me to the organisation, I guess, is that sense of community and the projects, and I guess the advocacy for young people that we're working with, and to be able to provide that platform for career development and so forth. So that's a real driver for us, and I think for many of the staff that are at our organisation.
When you were younger in the age group you sort of cater for, with it
making it less of a sort of particularly, like I said, modest. I mean, you guys are sort of probably going to be interested in that world. It does add that extra layer into the budget, and that's a very positive thing, but also allows your fans to grow with you, and particularly with old bands like The Living End, that's a huge part of they've maintained this youth element, and they've still got this enormous younger, sort of regenerating younger crowd that want to see them, but it's been difficult for them to, I guess, cater to them without making really specific decisions about.
That's really come across into my personal life over the years that I've been at The Push, in terms of running your personal budgets, running your, whatever it is you're doing in your personal life. And secondary to that, as I mentioned before, about doing a lot of volunteerism, I think that's come across into my personal life as well, which is something that I've got a new appreciation for through our organisation. So there's a couple of things that have gone the other way for me that have come into my personal life.
Right, but it's safe to say it's all very gratifying. Well, speaking of challenges, I think what a lot of us are interested in is how you make that initial break from, being a bedroom producer or, working at a cafe and doing a little bit of sound engineering on the side. What were some of the initial challenges that you faced in terms of really breaking into the industry that you love, in terms of early on in your career?
Can I just make one point about, of course, the music music is always seen is traditionally as youth orientated. But one of the things I found out when I started to work at Bankrolls quite a long time ago was I'd come from a really quite niche inner city, daughter to the Performance Club and things like that, really quite a small environment. And I realised how big the